Hey, what's up? What's up? Happy Monday. Ooh. How y'all doing? I'll wait till y'all come on in the room. Kind of running behind. It's crazy. What's going on? Happy Monday. What is it? Stress-free Monday. I'm excited about today. How y'all doing? Let me know that you're watching. Say what's up. Glad that y'all can tune in. What's going on? How you doing? Taki. How you doing? What's going on? How's your Monday going? See you posting your slim down pictures. Congratulations. Be happy in the skin you in. I'm glad you're embracing you. I love it. How you doing? What's been up? How was y'all weekend? Y'all know we in a holiday week, short week. I'm excited about it. 3 days of work. 3 days. 2 days left, y'all. I'm excited about it. That's what's up. Stress-free Monday. I'm excited about it. My weekend was good. How was y'all weekend? Had a good weekend. Got to be careful, though, because it's still a whole virus out here, and I'm out here living my best life. But I feel like that's what we better do before it's too late, right? No? Okay. Terry, what's going on? Stephanie, how y'all doing? What's going on? I see y'all. Say what's up before you leave out, because I know you just dropping through, but it's okay. So tell me what's up. How's your week? How was your weekend? How was your day? I'm excited about this stress-free Monday. Definitely excited about talking about this whole thing about exposing. It's a lot going on in there. Steph, what's going on? Thank you, though, for last week. You encouraged me. I don't know how it was spoke to you, but or what was spoken to you, but or whatever encouraged you from last week, whatever thought was put into you last week. Hopefully it was usable for your week to be stress-free, because that's the whole thought. So we can help each other be stress-free throughout this week, stress-free throughout our weeks. I'm excited about it. It's good, like, for this communication so that we can, like, build together, grow together. I'm excited about it. But I'm excited about talking about this thing called exposing. Y'all know that's like a deadly thing, right? It can be detrimental. And I asked the question, at what cost are we willing to expose other people? But what about ourselves? Like, are you willing to expose yourself? And how vulnerable are you when you... What's going on, Brianna? How you doing? What's going on? How's your mom? Minister Bonate, the anointed one. Y'all, that's one of my wisdom keepers, the lady that poured wisdom into me all while in Cincinnati. I love you and miss you. Samantha, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing on this stress-free Monday? Let's talk. Let's have a little bit of conversation. Let's pray together. Let's grow. Let's build the kingdom together, y'all. That's what it's about. I'm excited about it. So talk to me. Let me know how y'all doing. How was y'all weekend? What y'all do? Exciting. If you have any prayer requests, drop them. Let's pray together. Let's talk. Let's talk about this thing called exposing. A lot is going on in the world, y'all. I miss her too. Actually, I need to call her. I will call her. I need to my number changed, so let her know that out of town Florida number, I think it's 386 area code, is gonna be calling her. So let her know. I'm gonna reach out to her. So a lot's going on though in the world. People are exposing people. People are willing to put other people's stories out there. And actually, I was talking to a friend last week. What's going on, Sam? How you doing? I miss those thighs. I do. Anyway, let me get serious. What's going on, Sierra? Montina, what's going on? But yeah, so a lot's going on. I was talking to a friend last week. I'm putting my book out there, but I switched my book to not tell everybody's names. I chose not to put everybody's like names that's involved in my story, involved in my past in the book, because I feel like even though it's my story, it's still a part of them, and I didn't want to expose. So at the cost of putting other people's reputations. Because that's the thing too. Like you kill people's reputations with sharing. I mean, or like quote unquote trying to like tell your story. So like while you telling your testimony, like are you exposing other people? Is that the point? Like talk to me, because I feel like I've done it. And actually when I did it, when I even told my little story about me moving down to Florida and the reasons why I wasn't moving to Florida, I told, and a friend got offended because they thought I was trying to expose them. They told me that their family was telling them that I'm not their friend, because I was exposing their piece of my story. But it was a piece of my story. So I felt I backed off. I apologized. But I didn't feel like that was necessary. Honestly, I had to think about it. And it's like, why am I apologizing for telling my story? Like, if you hurt me, is it my fault that you were the reason for my hurt? Tremaine, the truth hurts. It does. And at the end of the day, it's still like, at what cost are you willing to tell the truth? That when it comes to exposing other people. Delisha, what's going on, my tenor? Oh, this is your note. Anyway, Delisha, I miss you. What was Nataki said? I keep names out of things when I'm talking about it to others. So is that okay though, Nataki? Because at the end of the day, if it's your truth and you're exposing yourself though, because ultimately you're telling your truth. Like I'm telling my truth. So it so happens that you come along and you're a part of my truth. So at the end of the day, and actually you one of them. It's like I'm just playing now. But like, or like, am I wrong to put your name in the book? Because me and you dated or went on a date at least. So do I not get to tell that you was a part of it? Like, even though you know the story because I told you the story. So, that's what I'm saying. So, am I at fault? Danielle, sometimes it's almost necessary it's according to the circumstances of the story. So, there's parameters on it then. That's what you're telling me. So, because could it be okay if you were, and we're all somebody, so don't take this personal. So, if you were just a regular Joe amongst the people, it's okay to put your name in it. But is it because you hold a position or because you are like somebody or you're a public figure? Is that not okay for me to like put your name in there? Because again, you're still a part of it. If I say Danielle was a part of my hurt in the past, she took my ex, and I'm being messy right there. But anyway, am I wrong for saying Danielle because you took my ex? You have to walk in your truth. Sam, that's the truth. Like, I feel like it is, like, that's the thing, though. Like, if I walk in my truth, am I okay to put your name in it? Am I okay to, like, say your piece in it because you were involved in it? Or is that defamation? It's not defamation, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm telling the truth and the truth that I experienced. But it so happens that you're a part of it. And honestly, like, when I did it, the first time when I told my story about why I'm moving and the situation what I was trying to get away from, to break free from. And when a friend approached me about the situation, at first it was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to. That wasn't my intentions. You know my intentions. You know my heart. But at the end of the day, I had to think about it. Like, why am I apologizing for something you did that hurt me? And I can't tell, because at the end of the day, you live in it. So I can't tell because it's our truth. Like, but apparently it was offensive and I'm not a friend because I'm speaking my truth. So Minister Bonifay, I want to go there. Y'all, she said you need permission from that person. So, okay, Minister Bonifay. So I need permission to tell my story because you're involved in it. Me and you sit at the counter every day, or at the church. We sit there almost every day, at least not every other day, and we talk. and me and you argued, and we found this one thing that we argued about because it was about me, and you didn't like the life that I was living. But because I argue with you every day, I have to come to you and ask permission for you. I mean, and that's the minimum. That's not what I'm talking about. So I'm just gonna be real. My story is crazy. My story is, it is what it is. A lot of people know about it. I mean, it's coming out. Actually, I don't really want to tell you because I wrote a book, and the book is coming out. And that's why, again, I had to switch names because, again, I don't want to go through it feeling like I have to ask permission, like Minister Boniface said, to tell my story. Like, my story is my story. And honestly, if you've been around, if you know anything, you'll know once you read it, like, what it is and who it is. But at the end of the day, for saving face, I'm going to switch names. But I still, like my friend told me last week, I shouldn't have to when it's the truth, when it's my truth. I don't feel like I should have to ask permission when it's my truth. You didn't have to ask permission when you done what you did. So at what point does a person tell their story? All while exposing someone well loved for doing something hideous. Tamika. It's hideous. Without being ridiculed. So, Tamika, I want to read that again. So, at what point does a person tell their story all while exposing someone well loved for doing something hideous without being ridiculed? That's the thing, though. So, at the end of the day, like, I want to tell my story and I want to tell the story, but at the end of the day, I feel like because there are times where people have positions that when called into question, you lose all credibility, you lose all of, so it's almost pointless for you to even operate, for you to even do what you're doing. So at the end of the day, for me not to be the reason why people see the truth, because at the end of the day, I was watching a sermon, and the sermon said you have a right, like, and the right that you have is to remain silent. And honestly, operating in that right allows me not to be at fault, though, when your character, when your platform is called into question, because ultimately you're going to do it yourself. So if I sit back and let God work this thing out, honestly, like, it'll ultimately come to light. What's done in the dark comes to light anyway. That's what I believe. I figured that I tried to sit back anyway and let what's happening to me, because that's what I do. Honestly, people say I let people walk over me. Some people say that. Some people say I walk over people. But at the end of the day, I honestly sit back and let people do what they're going to do, because it'll come to light anyway. Your intentions come to light, honestly, at the end. So I just sit back and let it happen. And that's what I've done. You better leave Delisha alone. Yo, say that wasn't funny, though. You remember back in the day when the choir was happening. Anyway, Sam says, it's good that you don't put names in it. I didn't put names in it. So I sent my first draft to the editor, and I gave them creative editing rights, meaning because they don't know the people, they don't know the situation, they have the right to kind of switch it to make it like not be so direct in a sense, because it's my story. But like I said, I don't want to, with family members, I don't want them to be offended by me telling my truth. Friends, I don't want them to be offended by telling my truth, because again, even though you're involved in it, it's still my truth. It's still something I experienced. And even though you may not have seen it through your eyes or felt it the way I felt it, that's how I felt it, even when the situation was going on. So I don't feel like I should have to ask your permission. But also, too, and we're also in a season, and I know Minister Boniface on here, a lot is going on in the world. Too much is going on in the world for us to sit on. And how do I want to say this? There's a lot going on in the world, but time is too short, and this pandemic is showing us time is too short for us to keep faking the funk. Like, if we don't expose ourselves, we winding up on time. And you don't want to wait too late, honestly, before it's too late. And like, you dead and gone, and you not even been able to repent, forgive, ask for forgiveness for what you've done, what you're doing. Dang it, it's a lot of comments coming in real fast. Wait a minute, hold on, let me go back to Brianna. Names are not necessary unless it will save someone else from that person who wronged you, but I believe it should be done in private. You can still publicly tell your story and leave the names out. Bree, okay, I mean that's definitely where I was at. I did that intentionally from the beginning because I didn't want to, and I felt like, what's the word? I felt convicted when I did it the first time, but I didn't put names on it. But because I didn't put names on it, the people that were still involved in it knew exactly who it was. Like, you don't even have to put a name on it. Like, the guilty parties or the parties involved, they'll feel it. So they'll feel convicted themselves because I didn't have to put names on it, even when I put my first video out there. But again, at what point is a line crossed from you telling your story, from you offending, like, you as my friend? Like, I'm not trying to be offensive for me telling my story, but again, I'm trying to help somebody too that's maybe going through the same thing I'm going through, not go through the same thing. And it's not specifically with you or about the situation me and you went through, but at the end of the day, to show you that even though you're going through the situation, even though you're going through this turmoil or this trial, like, there's sunlight, there's a rainbow, there's a sunny day ahead. Like, that's the whole point. Like, or at least my point. Like, my point isn't to, like, kill your character. My point isn't to, like, turn people against you. Like, ultimately, that's God's job. Like, I can't do anything. Like, at least that was my intention. At least that's my intention. But at what point of you telling your story do you cross the line? Or is there a point when you're telling your story? I honestly don't think there is. Like, if you're telling your story, at what point can you not cross the line because it's your story? Like, if so-and-so molested you, so you got to keep so-and-so's name out there because you're trying to keep their character, even though they broke you, even though they hurt you, even though they took you through a whirlwind, like, had you going through sexual confusion and all this stuff. So it's not okay to tell their name because you're trying to save face for them. But did they save face for you when you had to go through what you were going through? That's my question. So someone will always feel offended. Yeah, that's true. And ultimately, I guess you can't worry about what people feel outside of what your intent or your feelings are. Because in a sense, you almost got to be selfish, right? No? Is that the thing? Bonifay, what about fictitious names? So yeah, that's where we were at. That's where me and the editor are at, like, about fictitious name. But that's still not my story, though. That's still not, like, what I've experienced. But I guess to make everybody okay, I got to put false names in it. Because I'm an open book, because live your life freely. That's true. Like, it took me forever to honestly want to even be free. Definitely growing up in the church, and as sad as it may seem or say or sound, you be in a box. Like, you're put in a box, and in order to break free from it, you have to put yourself in a place, and not even in the church, but put your place in your relationship with God. And it took me a long, long, long time to get myself in a place where I didn't have to worry about, or I didn't worry about what people were going to say, what people were going to do, how people were going to feel. It took me a long time to get myself in a place to even feel accepted by myself. So I definitely get that. With friends like that, you don't need enemies. Tremaine, I feel like you're going to get personal, but definitely the truth. But yeah, that's definitely the truth. And I'm going to move on because I don't want to go too deep. If they were truly your friends, they would feel bad for what they've done. I'm sure that's what they say. You better say that. At the end of the day, holding back is also still a form of abuse. I agree, Daniel. I'm going to stop on that part. It's a form of them silencing you. Like, it's still holding power over you. So at the end of the day, because I can't tell my story, because I have to save face for you, because you're the pastor, or because you're the minister of music, or because you're the state representative, or because you're the state secretary, I have to hold face because you hold position, and if I tell too much, or because you're married, or I mean, what for whatever reason you have to hold face or like hold back on your story because you're trying to save face from somebody else who wasn't saving face when they were doing what they were doing with you or to you. So how fair is it? Or is it about being fair? I mean, it's about us telling our story, right? And it should be okay. I watched another video of this girl saying, stop worrying about what people saying. Like, she was going hard. She said, stop worrying about what people say. People going to do what they going to do. People going to run over you if they going to run over you. But you can't allow them to run over you. You have to tell your story. Your story is your story regardless of what people say, how people feel. Tell your story and don't hold nothing back. And she said at the end of the day, ultimately, like, you're at fault if you don't tell your truth because it's your truth. So this story is going to end up being like Harper Stewart book and The Best Man. They are still going to find out or associate themselves to a character if they feel it's about them. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And I don't want it to be that way because when you can just be forward and be like, this is you. This is you. This is you in my life. This is how I feel about you in my life. Like, and that's the thing too. Like, I feel like sometimes in life we feel like, and I'm going to speak about myself. There were people in my life, or there are people in my life that I valued so much. But when it came down to it, I truly saw how much I was valued in their life. So in the end of the day, like, why can't I put that out there? Brittany, you were my best friend. And honestly, at one point, you were my best friend. And in life, and at one point, you decided to walk away from me. So I can't tell that Brittany, me and Danielle used to be together every day. I'm talking about every day we used to be together. And one day Brittany just up and said she don't want to hang out with me no more. So, and that hurt me to my core. So I can't put Brittany's name out there because she was a part of my hurt in my past. I couldn't get over that. I didn't know how to treat friends going forward because I was scared they was going to do what Brittany did to me. Walk away from me. We struggled together. We hung out together. We cried together. We laughed together. And then ultimately one day she just up and said, I don't want to be friends with you no more. Or at least hang out with you no more. So, and that's a part of my hurt so I can't put Brittany's name in there because I can't expose her. And that's exposing her for not being a friend because she's not a friend. No, not you, Brittany. I'm using you as an example. So, anyway, say ha ha ha, LOL. Bree, I did. I definitely prayed about it. And when I prayed about it, though, and maybe it's a different prayer that I need to talk and ask God for, but I prayed about direction on should I even tell my story? And at the beginning, it was go. This is your time. I placed you in this position to do it. Like, honestly, when I came into this whole Florida situation, I'm down here by myself. It was like time for you to invest into yourself. This is time for you to write your story. This is time for you to step away from the hustle and bustle of even the busy city, like going out every night or hanging out with friends. You don't have that anymore. I'm taking you away from that, and I'm putting you in a space so that you can put yourself in a position to be free and tell your story. So that's where I was at. But then again, I got to that point and I tried to tell at least a little piece of it, and I got kind of put in a place of saying that I wasn't a friend because I was telling too much or trying to be messy. And ultimately, it's not about being messy. It's definitely not about being messy. It's about telling my story because, again, I don't know what you're going through. Like, and I don't know how I can help you because we're the kingdom, right? And we're about building up each other. But it's okay for you to tear me down, but I can't build you up by helping you overcome because we might be going through the same thing and we might be experiencing the same thing. And I don't want you to go down the same path, or maybe you don't have to go down the same path because I can tell you that at the end, if you just hold on a little bit, because sometimes we just one more barrier or one more burden from us taking ourselves out. Like, you don't know where people are, so you don't know how your story can help somebody pull through. But I'm supposed to say a fake name because I don't want to put your name in it because you did it. And it's telling too much, I guess. So your story is your story. You may offend some folks when you tell your story, especially when you're telling your truth. and if you know they hurt you. Definitely, Steph. That's facts. Like, and that's what it is. Like, it's just me telling my truth. The testimony is in the situation, and the triumph not in the individual. Definitely, Steph. I mean, that was Samantha. Definitely Sam. But at the end of the day, even though it's not about the person, and it's about in the triumph of the testimony, but ultimately, if I'm still telling my truth, I still have to keep out certain parts because it may hurt you. Does exposing someone help you or hurt you? Is the question. What are you getting from it? That's my point. So, at what cost are you trying to do it? Like, is it healing? That's the question. Bree, that's a good question. Y'all, I want to read that again. Brianna says, does exposing someone help or hurt you is the question. What are you getting from it? So is there some reparations from you telling somebody's name in your story? That's the truth. Good point. Good point. Danielle says it can do both. I felt it from both ends, especially dealing with abuse. I feel like they knew what position they were in when they made the decision to hurt you. So it's only right that they continue to play their role. You have to be able to express yourself so that you're not causing yourself any hurt. Definitely true. Definitely true. And that was Delisha. But at the end of the day, it's going to take me back to what Brianna said. Even at the point, like me telling, I guess I don't have to say Delisha, because ultimately, even though I know it's Delisha, at what cost is it gonna be better, or am I gonna be healed more because I said Delisha versus Veronica, even though I know I'm talking about you? Like, so that is the truth. I think Brianna hit the hammer on the nail right there. Like, that's the question that has to be asked. Bri, I'm so glad you took some time out tonight, because that definitely helped. I believe in that God's time, and He will take the covers off. That's definitely it. And from the beginning, at least from my story, of me like experiencing what I've been going through, that's what I said I was going to do anyhow. It was a good thing that I was in a position, or I was in a place in God during the time that I was going through the situation that I'm going through. Because if the old Carrie had to go through what I'm going through now, I probably would be in jail with a lot of lawyer fees and begging people to bond me or bail me out of jail, because the old Carrie would have, or maybe even been in a mental institution, because my mental couldn't take this really. It was nothing but God that I was able to even make it through this, because I'm telling you, like, a lot of stabbing in the back I can't do. I've experienced a lot of people walking away from me. That's ultimately what I dealt with, or that's what I deal with. But so I almost can deal with you walking away from me, but I can't deal with the stabbing in the back like thing. Like, definitely when I call you family. Regina, what's going on, sis? You ain't have Bible study tonight? There's a difference to me than straight up exposing and you telling your truth to be unleashed and free. What are your motives? That's the truth. I think I have to go back. India. Exposing. That's the question. Is it worth exposing though? Like, there's too much going on in the world for me to like try to kill somebody's character. And I'm not even talking about me just personally, me trying to expose somebody. Even though I have something, but is it worth me exposing? Like Brianna said, what am I getting out of it? Leah, what's going on, sis? I thought about you earlier, and this sounds fake, but I definitely started praying for you earlier, out of the blue. So definitely praying for you. But India, yeah. So I don't know if it's even worth me like telling the names, but I'm definitely telling my truth. I'm definitely telling my story. It's been too long, and it's not about making any money. Like, it's not about trying to become something I'm not. It's about me trying to help somebody get through what I had to go through. Because, and you know, much like almost everybody on here right now, the church uh, is, I've been in corporate America, and as cutthroat as corporate could be, the church is almost as cutthroat. And it's no different because it's the same type of people in corporate than it is in church, understanding it. It's a hospital. I think that's what the world's view is, like misconstrued, because they think that it's supposed to be a perfect institution, but it's not, because it's full of imperfect people. And I understand that, but it's a whole lot of hurt that happens in that place versus corporate that I've experienced. More hurt in that hospital called the church. I miss you too, Leah. Like I said, I definitely was praying for you. I don't know why God dropped you in my spirit, but I'm hoping and praying everything is well. I saw your grandparents are celebrating like what, 100 years anniversary. I'm proud of them. Congratulations. Hopefully she's not watching because she on Facebook now, your grandma. But anyway, that was a joke. But yeah, so at what cost are we trying to expose people? Are you like okay with exposing people? Let us know. Talk to us. Because Brianna definitely dropping some knowledge tonight. Overall, I just want God to get the glory. Does he get the glory out of me peeling the covers off of someone else? He will forever get the glory out of you telling your story to help pull someone out, because we overcome by the words of our testimonies. That's what it is. That's Erica, what's going on? That's what it is though, Bree. Like, I feel like I'm just ultimately trying to help somebody get through. My best friend in the whole wide world is on. Y'all, if y'all can say hi to Nathan Huffman, what's going on? Even though I ain't talked to you in like a week. But what's going on? How you doing? We talking about exposing, and not exposing someone specifically or an individual or a thing, but it's talking about, like, is it okay when telling your story, when telling your truth, to put people's names on it, to put people involved in it, name in it. And Bree putting it the right way. Is it okay to peel back the covers on somebody else's piece of your story? Because even though it's the truth, are you trying to, like, is your motive ultimately to kill their character or to kill their platform? What's your point? So definitely, Bree, that's definitely thought. That's meet this up on. India, I need you to talk to me. What you feel? How you feel? Is it okay? What would you do in my situation? I have something. I want to tell something. And it's me telling my truth. Like, I'm going to tell it, like, honestly, and I'll tell this. I got engaged a little over a year ago. And my fiance was told that he was gay before I got to tell her. And that wasn't the truth. But anyway, at least that wasn't the whole truth. But at the end of the day, somebody tried to tell my truth before I even got to tell it. And it didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt me because I kind of expected, but it was like almost a stab in the side. I won't even say the back. But it was like a stab in my side, because it's like, why couldn't you just let me tell? Like, was you thinking that I wasn't going to tell my truth? But I am involved in it, and she's involved in it, so I had to almost be okay with it, because they felt like they were doing a good thing. They felt like they were doing the right thing. Tay, what's going on, bro? Church hurt is a different type of hurt. Tanisha said that. Yes, it definitely is. It's a hurt only because you don't expect it. Like, you say you come into this hospital to get fixed, and you almost come out even broken, because there's broken people in there trying to fix broken people, and we don't ultimately, because we so much put it in to our pastor's hands, or into our spiritual leaders' hands, and to the minister of music's hands, and to all these other individuals' hands, and we don't put our brokenness in God's hands, and we come out even more broken. That's what I learned ultimately. I learned that I went into a situation fixed on individuals, fixed on these people, thinking that they had the remedy to fix me, and they just as broken as I am. They just as hurt as I am. And like, I came out even more messed up because I'm trying to depend and rely on them. And God telling me to place everything that I'm going through, all of my hurts, all of my brokenness, place it in his hands. And I wasn't doing that. And until I do it, I'm going to go through this brokenness. I'm going to go through this hurt. I'm going to go through this pain. And he allowed me to go through it because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I'm relying on a pastor who got 800, 900 other people that's trying to rely on him to fix them too. And he can't even fix himself. And I'm not talking about my personal situation because then people would be putting it on my church. But anyway, it ain't my church anymore. But anyway, but people like that's what was happening. And until I put my situation in God's hands, everything was going to like fall apart, and it was falling apart. At the end of the day, Leah says, though sooner or later things will come to the light regardless of title. People hold truth is the truth, and that's just the battle that's going to have to belong to the Lord as far as how the truth affects title. Definitely. But Leah, in your opinion, because again, these are all of our opinions, it's like it can be your fact, but we're going to call it your opinion tonight. In your opinion, do you think that it's your responsibility, though, to shed light on it, even though because it's your truth? So you shouldn't say Carrie, as the minister of music of my church, was sleeping around with everybody in the church, and it was affecting my ministry. And I tried to stick it out, and I tried to, but it was breaking me every time I came to a rehearsal, every time I came on a Sunday. So you ain't allowed to say Carrie because you're going to kill my platform, or you're going to like kill my character, even though I'm killing my character myself, but it's your truth. So you're not allowed to say me. That's my question. Danielle, wait, but I was being serious, laugh out loud. I know I'm just weak at the end because we give people the power to be our God. Definitely, Tanisha, I think, and that's what I was saying a little bit ago. I place too much power, or not even so much power, but I place too much hope. And I'll just call it like hope. I was just hoping, praying, wishing that these people that said that they was praying for me, that they were going to walk with me, that they were going to talk with me, that they were going to help me get through situations, were going to be there for me. And because they got their own lives and got their own problems and situations, ultimately they didn't have the time, they didn't have the space, they weren't there. And it's like, okay, they're human, they're going through stuff just like me. So why am I putting so much into their hands versus God, who is the ultimate healer or deliverer? Are you saying publicly or to your circle who will actually be involved in the healing process for you? So, Leah, for me, just because I know you got on a little bit later, I'm writing a book. I'm in the process of writing a book. I changed the names in my book so I wouldn't affect people involved, because I'm not trying to be malicious. I'm not trying to kill character. I'm not trying to be messy or whatever you want to say it. I'm just trying to tell my truth, like to help somebody else overcome what I could have or what I've been through and they could be going through, or like helping them not experience it or having a different mindset. Because again, if I would have known 20 years ago, knowing what I know now, back then, even how to approach ministry itself, just how to approach like my relationship with God. Like there was no roadmap laid out for me starting, even walking in this thing. But if I had something, I just want to be a little bit of light to help somebody not go down the same path that I had to go through. That took me basically 20 years to get to a place to have my own genuine, sincere, personal relationship with God and stop playing church. That's my thing. So, and that's all I'm asking. My Shira, she says, I feel as though sometimes we tend to battle with eye for eye or turn the other cheek. In my experience, every time I went on my own vengeance, I end up hurting myself instead. Now let the Creator handle my battles, and I don't get a stain on me. When the Son said, the battle is not yours, it's the Lord's, I truly believe that, and that trust it as well as I know it now. That's big facts, my share. Big facts. Definitely sitting back and letting God work it out and fight this battle. But do you have to be muzzled, in a sense? Because should I not feel like I'm being muzzled, or that I have to be cautious and careful to not pull back too many sheets. Like Juanita Bynum said, no more sheets. Do I have to, if I'm trying to tell no more sheets for myself, I have to be careful to not peel back too many layers of this onion because it's going to go too deep and tell too much. And then it's exposing too much, but of my truth. Because I'm only telling my truth. I can't speak for you. I can't speak for anything that you've experienced, even through the same experiences that we went through. I can't tell what your viewpoint was. I'm only telling what I've experienced out of the situation. Brandy, what's up, sis? She said, tell your truth, period. If changing the names make you feel better, then do so. Just make sure that you are telling it for your healing and not to expose. That's not your job. That's God's. God is going to expose all things that have been covered and don't have to say a word. That's it. I think I got my answer for tonight. I'm excited about that because everybody else is saying the same thing. And I think I'm going to stick with it. Cuz, Tanya, what's going on? For a book, I personally wouldn't list names. I feel that exposing saying names won't change the story. You can explain the situation and the position that person's hold in your life without the names, because the only people that will know that person are mutual people. So that's exposing in my opinion. Definitely, Leah. And I guess that's what it is. So there's a difference between exposing and your truth. That's what I'm getting out of it. Tremaine, thank you. I see some scripture, but Ecclesiastes 3 tell us there is a time for everything. Yes, it's a time for everything. But even in that time, and this I guess come with your own praying and seeking God for yourself. But is that saying that in that time, and if it is that time, is it your time to speak on it? Is it your time to talk about it? But you still have to be cautious of how and what you say, right? That's important, no? Yeah, so I'm excited about this thing. I definitely don't want to call it. I used exposing because I think that's what draws people in, right? The in a sense, the messiness behind it. But it's definitely the truth. It's your truth. And speaking your truth is okay because it's your truth ultimately, and you don't have to hold back by telling your truth. You should say, you should be cautious not to kill someone's character, definitely. But in time, God reveals everything anyway. That saying, what's done in the dark comes to light, it holds itself true. It's shown itself to be true. If you hold out, if you sit back and watch it, they'll tell on themselves anyway. The darkness be shown to light. The covers will be pulled back. It'll happen in due time, regardless if I say something or not. You're telling yourself. It literally says there is a time to speak and a time to shut up. Yes, definitely, Tremaine. And I feel like you're telling me to shut up. It's like I'm just playing. No, but I like I said, the sermon I watched earlier, she said, and it was what's the daughter name? Is it Sarita Jakes? T.D. Jake's daughter. She said you have a right to remain silent. And she was preaching on, literally talking about marriages, how sometimes you have a right to be quiet, but in life you have a right. You have a right to speak up. You have a right to shut up. So God's given us that right, and ultimately, I think most of the time, definitely when we come to talking about exposing or telling on others or telling others pieces, even in your truth, you have a right to shut up. And that's where we at. Sarah, she did a sermon. She opened up for her husband at a marriage retreat, and she talked about how you have a right to remain silent. And I use that just in this sense. Like, I have a right, and I'm going to use my right to just remain silent in a sense and still tell my piece to help somebody else overcome. And I think that's what we have to do, though, in the kingdom, because there's a thin line between telling your truth and exposing others. So we have to be careful to do that or not to do that. And Miss Jessica, what's going on? How you doing? Praying for you, hoping all things is well. Like you have, Leah says, like you ever heard somebody pray and the whole prayer was messy. And at the end of the prayer, all you think is that was petty. So even if you were praying against this, and the motive was, it will always show. Definitely, I've definitely experienced that before. I'm pretty sure we probably been in the same place during the same time when that was happening. And we laugh at that stuff. We take it as a joke, but like Tremaine says, it's a time and a place for everything. It's a time and a place for God to start revealing things. He's been in a season, or he's had us in a season of revealing anyway. And it's not anything that we had to do on our own. Sometimes people in their own messiness, they reveal things. And like even this past week, Kalante Gavin telling his truth. And people depict it and they tear it down and they rip it down and they make it their own story, or they try to be as messy just to keep or shine light on somebody else's story, as if your mess ain't, or your stuff don't stink. Man, nah, I ain't gonna say the word. But at the end of the day, like, that's where we are even in the kingdom. And then we call ourselves pastors. We call ourselves, because every little blog that I've seen that's ripping down other people's characters and telling people up in the kingdom anyway, it'd be leaders. It'd be people with platforms that's just trying to tear other people up to keep a platform. But how, what are we calling that the kingdom? That's why I'll be out of it. Like, I'm okay with just doing me, growing the way I'm growing, building my relationship the way I build. It don't take me to come into a building to help me say that I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian because I believe. I'm a Christian because I have my relationship, not because I go to a church and sit under people who are in the same position as me. And not to say I sit under spiritual leaders. My pastor is Damon Lynch III. I sit under his teaching every Sunday, virtually. I sit under Cindy Trim virtually. I sit under T.D. Jakes virtually. And I don't have to go into a building and listen to mess to help build a kingdom that most of us are trying to tear down anyway. Because if I come before the kingdom and I tell you that I've been sexually molested, and I've been hurting, and I've been ministering broken, and you try to figure out, oh, see, I knew he was gay. The little boy likes boys. That's what you get out of somebody trying to tell you that they ministering to you, trying to speak into your spirit, speak into your brokenness, but I'm just as broken and I'm just as hurt. But you try to tear me down about some sexuality situation that you dealing with yourself. Because if it ain't you sleeping with men, it's still you sleeping with, and you might be married, but you're still sleeping with more women than ain't your wife. So the truth shall set you free. And I just went on a tangent, so please do forgive me. It's your choice if you choose to say a name or not. I don't think it's wrong anyway. But I try to protect people who didn't try to protect you. So, and I'm going to stop there really quick, Regina. That was my point. But, so, and I don't want to get emotional. But that was my point. I do want to protect people that didn't want to protect me. And that's where I felt like wavering with, because ultimately I care so much about the person and the people that I don't want to hurt them, even though you didn't care to not about hurting me. But that goes for that tit for tat situation, and that's what it's not about. It's really like me finding my healing, me getting to a healing or a healed place. So it's not about me trying to be a tit for tat, but ultimately that is definitely the truth. I still don't want to hurt the person though. People need to be held accountable for their own actions. That's like saying a rape victim shouldn't say her rapist's name. A person that caused pain to you, abused you to you, ain't you, women, ain't abuse to you, hurt you. It's like, why am I protecting that person? Ultimately, people kill their own character. Sometimes people continue with that behavior because people always cover for them and they don't get held accountable. I feel like it's up to the person that's harmed to pray and to handle it the best way God leads them to. Regina, you hit a whole lot in that one statement. Yes, the video that I watched earlier, the girl said that's why people continuously keep doing the same thing. Because we in the kingdom, we got our cliches, we got our things that we say we shouldn't do, or we got our things that we say that me as a Christian or us as Christians shouldn't do. We shouldn't pull back the covers on people. We shouldn't, because ultimately, if I'm pulling back the cover, and it's your motive, it's your intent behind it, it's the way that you do it. But because we're in the kingdom and we shouldn't be doing this because God's going to do it, but I don't hold you accountable, so that enlists you to keep doing what you're doing again. So you get to keep committing the same old sin because ultimately you feel like you got away with it the last time, you got away with it the time before that, you got away with it the time before that. So if they're going to keep allowing me to get away with it and I can keep my position and I can keep doing what I'm doing, so why not? Why not allow me to keep doing what I'm doing? Who going to say something? Who gonna touch me? Yeah, God gonna ultimately do it, but God gonna do it in his time, which may not be our time, so we might not even see it in this lifetime. You might not even get to see it. But at the end of the day, God gonna handle it. But I, as your brother, me as your keeper, me as my brother's keeper, ain't supposed to hold you accountable because as Christians, we just gonna sit back and let God work it out. Yes, what's going on? But this word does say, forsake not the assembly. Keep going, yes. Preach. Hey Jennifer, what's going on? Angel? Who said Angel, you know this guy? Wait a minute. I'm gonna have to get off here and read them comments because I'm getting thrown out. Somebody said something. Who is C. Robert Collins? I'm losing stuff. But anyway, I saw Angel on here. So what's up, Angel? Because apparently he asking, do you know me? Heal, little cousin, in the best way you can. Let Jesus lead you. That's facts. And that's ultimately what it's about. And I'm using ultimately a lot. But that's what it's about. It's about healing. It's about overcoming. It's about building. That's what I'm trying to do. And it's not so much about the person. And I don't want to make it about the person. But I don't want to be at that borderline crossing over where it's like, oh, that's just messy. Oh, that's you just trying to be like, are you just trying to expose? It's not about that. It's about trying to help somebody else. Like, and at the same time while I'm helping myself, and like in this platform, I'm helping somebody else, but I'm helping myself as well. Yes, to me, that's the personal call them. Oh, wait a minute. To me, that's personal. Call them out on their mess. That's the problem now. Sweeping things under. Don't do nothing but hurt. Mom, what's going on? How you doing? Yes, I think that's the truth. But I also think it's cultural. And not so much just like a black thing or a white thing, not black or white thing. It's just culture. Like even in the church, even in religion, even in jobs, like even in politics, whatever positions, like it's taught there that's why Olivia Pope character was so popular, because those type of people that can help maneuver and sweep things under and keep things going and moving without a hiccup like that's what we want. That's what we feel like we need, because we know if we're exposed, then we lose our credibility and it's pointless, versus being open and saying, look, we're a whole bunch of hurting people. We're a whole bunch of sexually frustrated, molested, broken, cracked out, alcoholic, whatever the case may be. It's a whole bunch of this and a whole bunch of that, versus just being open and saying, this is what we have in here. This is who we are in here. We come in here to help build each other, to help make it through. We are AA group, because they not ashamed to say that they go to AA. They're not saying they're not ashamed to say that they go to Narcotics Anonymous, but it's almost at the point where you ashamed to say I'm a Christian. Because if I go to church, all I'm doing is going in there to get broken and torn down. Because if I tell you too much of my story, if I tell you too much of my hurt, if I tell you too much of my pain, either you're going to expose or try to expose me or tell my truth in a different light or shine it or break me down even more. And it's like, what's the point? It is a whole lot of brokenness. It's a whole lot of brokenness. It's a whole lot going on in there. But at the end of the day, and that's all right, understanding that it's all right, because I'm broken, you broken, we all broken, but we come together to try to lift up, to get on one accord, to give God praise and do all that other stuff. But while we doing all that other stuff, we still in there being messy. let God lead and guide you, then everything will fall in place. Definitely. I've done that. I've been seeking, I've sought, and I feel like I've gotten revelation in a sense to go forth and do what I need to do. And again, like I said, I'm writing a book. I didn't put names in there. I well, no, wait a minute. I put names in there, but they're altered. They're fictitious names because again, it's not about killing somebody's character when trying to tell your truth. So that's where I'm at. Love does not judge. It doesn't judge. It doesn't tear down. It doesn't. I mean, we know what love. The whole love is patient, kind. It doesn't tear down. It doesn't hold grudges. It doesn't. Yeah, we get all that, but we have to start living that stuff too. We have to start being about that stuff. Stop like, and I'm not saying you, Mom, but I'm just saying like it's real easy to quote that stuff. And I've seen some scriptures and words and stuff going on. Going up there, drop those encouraging messages and words. But we have to start living it too. Because it's real easy to quote it. Satan knows the Bible, but it's about living it, like, right? Ethan, what's going on, bro? How you doing? But yeah, so anyway, I'm excited about it. I'm excited that we're able to even come together tonight to talk about this thing called exposing and telling the truth. It's a borderline thing, right? So that's what it's about. So we can have a stress-free week. Excited that this week is the holiday week. Thanksgiving. Drop what you're thankful for. Let's pray together. Real quick, just bow your head. Dear God, we thank you for today. God, thank you for allowing us to come together. Thank you for allowing us to spend some time together, to grow together, God. We thank you for the kingdom that you've established us in, oh God. God, we ask that you have your way in our lives, oh God. Touch our minds, our hearts, oh God. Touch our lips, oh God. Touch our hearts, oh God. Our hands, oh God. Our feet, oh God, so that we can walk right, talk right, live right, oh God, love right. Just touch our minds, oh God, so that we can think right, oh God. Put our thoughts on things of you, oh God. Things that are lovely, things that are pure, things are just that are upright, oh God. Give us a pure heart, oh God, to love right, oh God. Give us the right words to say to help lift up our brothers, oh God, and not tear them down, oh God. God, just give us the right words to share, oh God, to help somebody overcome their struggles, their battles, their addictions, whatever it is, oh God. We ask that you just let us be the light, oh God. Give us the light, oh God. Let us be the light unto a path, oh God, a dark path, oh God. God, we just ask that you have your way, oh God. Thank you again for this little bit of time that you allowed us to come together on this stress-free Monday, oh God. We're proclaiming right now, oh God, that our week will not be stressful, oh God. God, that you will direct our path throughout this week, oh God. That we will be victorious throughout this week, oh God. God, just put your ever-loving arms of protection around us, oh God. Keep a hedge around us, oh God. God, lift us up, oh God, out of a dry place, oh God. God, we ask that you just rain down, shower down, oh God, your blessings among your people, oh God. Whatever the prayer requests are on tonight, oh God, just have your way in and through it, oh God. We love you, we bless you, oh God. We ask all these things in your son Jesus' name. Amen, amen, amen. So, really quick, exactly, and that's when people begin to feel untouchable. Facts, Regina. To me, that's personal. Oh no, I read that one. See Roberts. Oh, I guess that's her cousin. Missy, what's going on? I see some people just coming on, y'all. We were just talking about exposing, the thin line between exposing and telling your truth. Comment, let us know what you feel or how you feel. What's the thin line between exposing and telling the truth, your truth? Let us know. Help somebody overcome so that their week cannot be stressful. I'm excited again about today. I'm excited about proclaiming and speaking over myself. It's exciting just to be able to spend a little bit of time with y'all, to talk to some people that I don't get to normally talk to, like Brianna and Ethan, Yaz, to talk to my cousin Tanya, Missy. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for spending a little time with me. Nate, definitely reach out to me before Thanksgiving so we can talk a little bit. Glad to spend this time with y'all. Hope that y'all week be as prosperous and victorious as you claim it. I see y'all next week.